Thank you very much for talking to us today. Let's talk about COVID infection rates, because Germany is faring comparatively well compared to other European countries, but still there is a risk of exponential growth as well when it comes to infections in Germany. So what are the plans to actually contain that?
We have to be absolutely clear. The COVID-19 pandemic is a risk for all of us, and it's a risk for the mankind, and so we have to react to it. In Germany, I think we were able to handle the situation so far because of the good health system and the access of anyone to health support, and also because of the public activities which made it feasible to contain the virus infection rate. But it is still a task, and no one knows what the future will bring to us. And so we have to be cautious continuously. And aside of this, we did a lot to stabilize the economy, which worked quite well.
France is not excluding regional lockdowns. Are you excluding that here in Germany?
We are working very hard to react to the pandemic. And so we have to be very clear that anything that is necessary has to be done. My view is that if we understand the virus better, we can react to an infection increase in a certain region with different methods that could be used then.
Let's talk about the economy, because Christine Lagarde also was recently warning that the second leg of the V is actually very shaky because of the strong second wave of infections. So what's your view for the fourth quarter and perhaps also for the first quarter next year?
If I look to the data, we could be quite confident about the future. We have increase in economic growth. We will have a chance that we go back to the situation we had before the crisis in the beginning of 22, possibly a bit earlier. So there is a good development we can see. And this is even so if we look at the labor market. But we have to understand that we all depend on each other, and this is even so for the economy.
Talking about specific sectors, because clearly that crisis is hitting especially the travel industry, the leisure industry, very hard. So would you say, or do you think the state needs to do further bailouts in the next coming months, given the strong second wave?
We use a lot of money to stabilize the economy and for supporting the recovery. And we also know that some parts and sectors of the economy are hit more than others, and that they will have to struggle even in the next year. This is, for instance, for those who are doing cultural events or meetings of people and fairs and things like that. And it's absolutely clear that they will have the chance to be supported even in the next year.
And do you think it's fair to already now warning that actually that support system is creating zombie companies?
I don't understand this talk about zombie companies. If you look at the newspapers or at TV stations or in the internet, you will find a lot of messages that companies decide to reduce the people they employ. So though there is a lot of support with public money, though we have this short-term allowance schemes, it is not that companies that do not expect that they will have a chance to go back to the situation they had before the crisis are avoiding the necessary decisions. So it's absolutely not realistic that there will be a huge number of zombie companies. And let me say this, I've been the Minister of Labour during the last crisis, 2008 and 2009, and I was the one that said that short-term allowance schemes, for instance, used for a very long time to go through the whole crisis could be a way to fight an economic crisis like this then, at that time. And I heard all these arguments at that time. Many people were saying that this would create zombie companies and people and companies would avoid to take the necessary decisions, but it was not the case. So we have a very empirical basis for our debate, and this is the last crisis. And the outcome of this was that Germany was much faster able to recover its economy as many other countries, and that all the international organizations and many other countries learned from that they should use short-term allowance schemes also for their way of fighting against the crisis. And we have it now in Europe, we have it in the UK, we have it in the United States, we have it in many places of the world. So the debate about zombie companies is nonsense.